Hey there, Dance Moms fans. Look who's back. We are going over episode 11, Hannah Unmasked. We're going to talk about the mama drama, of course, and a rundown of this week's dances. Stay tuned.
You're tuned in to AfterBuzz TV, the ESPN of TV talk. Now, let the buzz begin.
Hey there. We doing it solo again. Hi guys. Thanks for tuning in. What a crazy week this was. So much mama drama and so much to go over. Thank you so much for tuning in. I am your host, Tamra Brown, holding the ship together solo tonight. We are talking about season 8, episode 11, Hannah Unmasked. And what a crazy episode it was. Just to get things started, my general opinion of the episode is, guys, these moms in past seasons, I mean, the show's called Dance Moms, right? So obviously the moms and everything that goes on behind the scenes with the moms is the point of what this show is all about. But I think it's getting to the point where these moms are hurting their daughters in the long run by acting like children themselves. These kids are living in an alternate universe, and we'll go into that a little bit further as we go along. But I want to start out just talking about the mama drama that we've got going on in this episode. Now we've got we've got Sarah's mom, Michelle, is back and easing her way in little by little, tries to come in on the pyramid. And Abby tells her, nah. She says, nah, you're not coming in. I can't have you here in the studio. And then that is when Abby asks Sarah. Sarah gets very emotional, and Sarah tells her mom, just go upstairs. I think that is very reasonable for a 12-year-old she just wants to dance. And this is what I'm talking about. Michelle turns it into a choose between Abby or me. And I'm sorry. Do you do that to a 12-year-old? Put her in that position to have to choose between her mother and her dance teacher? This kid just wants to dance. Michelle, you're not a child. Like, don't put that sort of guilt on your kid. This is getting to a point where, like, now I'm being dramatic, but I'm getting worried about these girls. You know, when the mom is going to be that immature, I want to step in there and be like, all right, guys, everybody needs to dial it back. This isn't brain surgery. We're not saving lives here. This is just a dance class. We need to remember that always. And then the next bout of mama drama was with Hannah and her mom, Hannah Banana. They pointed out multiple times that Hannah is 14, which was really surprising to me. Hannah is the oldest one on the team, and I think her shyness and her quietness really make her seem a lot younger than she is. And if you guys have seen our panel this season, you know, I've said multiple times that Hannah either needs to come out of her shell or this isn't the profession for her, because not only do you need to be a skilled dancer when you're on stage, but so much of the entertainment industry is whether you are able to, you know, are you a personality, a person to hang out with? Are you a personality off stage too? And it's a rough business for that reason for a lot of people, you know? If it were talent alone that got you jobs, it would be a very different world we're living in. But that's not how it is. So that's why I've been worried about Hannah this whole time, because she's so quiet, she's so timid, and she whispers, and when it's time for her, you know, one-on-one testimonials, and she looks at her mom. In this episode, the other moms really pointed out for the first time that her mom talks for her, which we've seen the whole season in the testimonials. You know, her mom will step in and say, tell them you liked it. Say it was a good dance, or say, you know, her mom speaks for her. And I guess, I don't know what you guys thought. I always thought that her mom stepping in just because the kid's too shy. But this episode was the really first time where we saw the other side of that. Like, maybe she, you know, holds back so much because her mom really does dive in there and just take the reins for her. And I'm sure the reality of it is that it's a little bit of both. I'm sure Hannah is naturally just a very shy, quiet person. It happens. And then to overcompensate for that, her mom, who's probably a very naturally like loud, rambunctious person just at a certain point was just like, I'll just speak for her. That'll just be easier. She even said it saves time. When we're ordering at a restaurant, it saves time. You know, she'll have to whisper 3 times for the waiter to hear her. So I'll just say, she wants macaroni and cheese. So there is a little bit of both of that going on. But again, you know, when the moms very aggressively confront her in the viewing room about the way that she speaks for Hannah all the time, and she goes to tears, then again, that's just like the immaturity of these moms to attack somebody like that. There were so many issues this episode that could have just been brought up by saying like, you know, we love Hannah, and she is a shy kid, and you know, that's one thing that makes her, you know, really sweet. But maybe you should, you know, step back a little bit, and if you don't speak for her, rather than being like, because you butt in there and you know, and do the whole, it's a reality show. We got to have a lot of finger wagging. But the way that they caused her to start crying there, which again, that was also, you're an adult, you know, this is not normal adult behavior to be brought to tears so easily. I think this season's moms are just a little bit more immature than previous seasons. All the craziness we've seen in this show from season 1, I think I'm standing firm behind my opinion that this season's moms are far more immature than any previous season's moms. And then we have the drama of Eliana and Yolanda. And Eliana has been struggling a little bit this season, and her mom, Yolanda, does a complete 180 from anything that we've seen from the moms before who defend their kids to the death. And this time Yolanda's saying, she can't do it. She's not as good as she used to be, and just feeling very defeated. And I'm going to take her out of here because she's lost it. She's going downhill. Your kid's better than mine. I don't think in the history of this show has a mother ever said, your kid's a better dancer than mine. We saw that today. So it was almost, even though I don't agree with Yolanda, I feel like she was taking Abby's criticism to the extreme. Even though I don't agree with her, it actually, for me, was refreshing to hear a mom actually, you know, be constructively critical to her child. We just never see that. We never see the mom play devil's advocate. Yeah, you're right. Maybe my kid does need to point her feet better. She does need to work on her flexibility more. You know, like we just never see that. And I liked it. It was refreshing to me to see that side of Yolanda. I don't know about you guys. Please let me know what you thought in the comments below. And thank you guys for commenting and liking our video. We really appreciate the feedback on these last few. So between the 3 mama dramas of this episode, I think Eliana and Yolanda's, that was the lightest. And I think Michelle and yelling at Sarah, telling her to choose between Abby and her mom, I think that was the harshest. I think that's dangerous parenting, to intentionally place guilt on your kid. That's a little scary. Made me very uncomfortable. And just watching a show about dance, guys. This is a show about dance. I don't want to feel uncomfortable about parenting techniques. Let's move on now to talk about this week's dances. All beautiful. That's my favorite part of the show. That's why I've watched this show all of this time for 8 seasons. So let's start with Ellie had a lyrical dance, and I think she did a spectacular job. Lyrical is Ellie's forte. That's what she's best at. And the fact that Abby gave her a solo when she has been struggling, that shows that Abby is, you know, really putting a lot of faith in her to rebuild herself. I think one thing that they didn't mention this episode is, you know, these girls, so Ellie's 12 now, and, you know, as you get older and your body changes and you get bigger, you know, you lose flexibility and you lose a lot of the tumbling ability and things like that. So she probably, like Yolanda says, isn't practicing as much as she used to or keeping up technique like she used to. But B, I think it is worth noting that like as kids get older, a lot of the things that they were able to do at 7 years old, you're just not able to do anymore at 12, 13, 14. So you have to learn to become a different kind of dancer. But that being said, Ellie, I really, really liked her dance a lot. And at the competition, I really thought she performed it beautifully. I loved her costume. Her costume was gorgeous. A couple episodes ago, I was saying Ellie always seems to be performing in like workout, like a warm-up outfit. And I really liked that this time she had the headband and very, very sparkly. It was a beautiful costume, a beautiful dance, and she really brought to me, reminded me a lot of Maddie with a dance like that, where there was a lot of like holding a breath for a certain, holding something for just a second too long, just for dramatic emphasis. And that dance had a lot of that. And I really, really loved that one. I think she should have got first, even though we didn't see what she went up against. Sarah's dance was an acro dance. And, Sarah actually, as I'm saying, like as dancers get older, their bodies change. Sarah's actually, for 12 years old, I'm really impressed with her ability to still do so much acro. And Abby knows that in these types of competitions, those acro dances are usually, for whatever reason, those are usually a big judge pleaser. Judges usually kind of really, for whatever reason, love those acro dances. Remember all those seasons ago when the only time Mackenzie beat her sister Maddie was with that cutesy little acro dance when their hair was in pigtails. Maddie did this like beautiful, mature, lyrical dance, and Mackenzie beat her. So those acro dances usually tend to grab the judges, but for some reason, not this time. And then we have the group dance. And the group dance with the stone-faced, it was the stone-faced theme, and removing Hannah's mask, because Abby really wanted Hannah to take the lead in this dance and kind of show her inner, come out of her shell a little bit. This was a contemporary dance, and I really, really loved this one too. This one was beautiful. Their costumes were beautiful. Like the stones, the like little rhinestones that they put on their faces, I'm just so impressed by all of that. Like it just must, I know that the mothers aren't doing that. We have like makeup people that we don't see on the show, but it's always just, to me, it's just so impressive when we see that. But anyway, that dance was beautiful. And I think when it came to the competition and we saw them perform, I do really think that we saw Hannah come out of her shell a little bit. And then especially after the competition, when Hannah says to Abby, like, thank you so much for giving me this opportunity. I really appreciated, having the lead in a dance and stuff like that. And I think Abby was so taken aback by her saying that Abby was just like, you're welcome. It was like a little bit of an awkward response, because I think she was just kind of like, what? Who said that? Oh, Hannah said that to me? Oh, you're welcome. It was a little cute. So I hope for Hannah's sake, Hannah, I hope we keep seeing you come out of your shell a little bit. I want to see more of that. I want to see you grow, girl. I want to see some, I think we know with all of the solos she's been given, and we have seen Abby compliment her. Like, I think Hannah really is one of Abby's favorite this year. So real quick, third, I would like to rank the dancers. Right now, we're going to rank the dancers for my opinion of who I think the favorites are right now with Abby. So I think that Liliana, I think right now what's happening is Liliana and Ellie. Ellie is slightly behind. I think Liliana is Abby's favorite. So I think Liliana has the number one spot right now in Abby's mind. I think Eliana is just slightly behind her. Even though she's been struggling and even though she hasn't been placing first place, I think Abby still sees that, magnificent technique that Eliana still that she does have, and I think that Ellie is just behind Liliana. I do think Brady, of course, is one of, Abby far and away thinks he's the best dancer. But I think just the nature of these types of competitions, she really puts her focus in the girls and feels that that's the careers that she knows how to, place into future places. I think he's pretty set. I feel like he doesn't need Abby. He doesn't need Abby as much as the girls do, because his career path, I'm not saying it's easier. I'm certainly not saying his career path is easier, but I think Abby knows that the opportunities that she's able to give her students are more ample for the girls. So she's not quite as worried about him. Now, after that, that's when I think it's Hannah. I think that's why Abby has been giving attention to Hannah, because she does see a lot of potential in her. And I think Giannina is just not really one of, I think it goes Hannah, Giannina, Sarah, and then, oh dear, am I forgetting one? I think there's one more I'm forgetting. See, she's the last. That's why. Comes in last place. Yeah, so I think that would be my my personal pyramid of who I think is on Abby's radar as far as moving forward. With that, I do want to point out that join us next week, because we may, it's not confirmed yet, but we may have a very special guest here in the studio. So stay tuned for next week. I don't want to say who it is, but keep an eye out for us next week, because we may have someone really fun here for you. And then I guess we'll just talk about a little piece of news that's barely news, but
AfterBuzz TV News.
Yeah, good old Maddie. One of our faves. She's got a new Sia. She's in a new Sia video that will be out soon, and she posted some Instagram photos of production, and it looks really cool. Good old Ryan Heffington is choreographing it. I have taken his classes here in LA, and he's amazing. So much fun. So Maddie's getting so grown up now. I'm actually surprised that she's still in these Sia videos, but keep doing it, girl. Your talent is unmatched. Proud of you. So that's what's going on in the news right now. So, all right, that's what we got, guys. Thank you so much for watching this episode. Please like us on YouTube and throw us a comment if you're listening on iTunes, and throw us a comment on YouTube, and we'll see you next week. Thanks so much.
Our founder, Kevin Undergaro, and me, Maria Menounos, would like to thank you for tuning in to AfterBuzz TV. Remember, we're not just the first, we're the biggest in the world, and we're the only destination for all your favorite TV shows. Whatever you crave, we've got it. So go to AfterBuzzTV.com and check out our lineup. Buzz you later.
The views expressed herein are those of the hosts only and do not necessarily reflect the views of AfterBuzz TV or its owners or principals.